My name is George, and I'm interviewing Willard Boggs, who's a business administrator. What is your name and the name of the company where you work?
My name is Willard Boggs. I work for Boggs Municipal Services Incorporated.
How long have you been doing this career?
It'll be 23 years this June.
Oh, what do you think your career would be in high school?
When I was in high school, I thought I was either going to be a neurosurgeon or a sports writer.
How is your vision from the high school different from today?
It's quite different. I did not become a neurosurgeon or a sports writer, and I've been doing this for almost half my life.
What is the pathway that brought you to where you are in your career today?
Well, my father, who started the business, he is a capable person as regards doing the work. He hates paperwork. He hates administration. He hates to do the in-office work. I, on the other hand, would rather sit in the office than go out and do the work in the field. So my father had a business partner with whom he split up their companies. Their company split up back in 1998. At the time, my father said, "Would you like to come to work and help out?" And I went there thinking it was going to be a short-term assignment. And 23 years later, I'm still working for the company.
What education was needed for the position you hold today? And what additional training was needed along the way?
Um, the education part, there's no actual degree requirements such as what would be needed if someone wanted to be a medical doctor, registered nurse, certified public accountant, or attorney, certain careers. However, it is good to have a 4-year college degree simply because you learn writing skills, communication skills. It also is very good to know how to use Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and if you're doing some presentations. One thing that I don't know how to use that probably helps in doing this work can be Microsoft Access. And also, you have to have some communication skills. You need to have writing skills. You need to know grammar. And so a college degree is definitely helpful, although there are people who move up into this career track without the formal education. However, it tends to take them longer, and I believe it does have some detriments if you don't have a 4-year college degree.
What is your position and job duties? Please describe your company.
Well, our company, Boggs Municipal Services Incorporated, we do municipal water and sewer repair and construction, water treatment facilities, wastewater treatment facilities, anything that needs to be repaired in those. We also work on the booster pumping stations for both of those facilities. We also do remote monitoring work for those facilities, where the technology is such today that the operator can sit at a desk in the water plant and know the different tank levels of all the water tanks in the system, which have the remote monitoring equipment installed. The operator at the wastewater plant will know if a pump is working or not at one of the sewage lift stations, lift station being a pumping station that pumps sewage, and can hopefully remedy the situation before sewer overflows and starts flowing out into the land adjacent to the wastewater pumping station, which oftentimes is next to a creek or river.
What is your position and job duty anyway?
My position is I'm I'm the administrator. My official title is the corporate secretary. That has to do with the State Corporation Commission. To have that title allows me to sign certain documents, and I do the duties that a corporate secretary would do. My primary objective, I work with the operations manager and office managers to just oversee what they do, make sure everything's turned in on time. I also do payroll reports. I do contract administration. I'll produce submittals to engineering firms on jobs which require an engineer's review of the products before they're installed. I also email back and forth and speak on the phone back and forth with customers. I discuss wages on occasion with the owner and the operations manager. I do a very large umbrella of job duties, and it has to do with just making sure the company's day-to-day operations are accomplished. Now, the operations manager, he schedules the crews, but if there's any issues, he'll come to me, and we try to work out any issues that come up.
What type of technology do you use in your job?
I use a Microsoft Windows 10 operating computer. I use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Outlook on a regular basis. I use the internet for browsing purposes, emails, a lot of emails, and the Excel spreadsheets, Microsoft Word, and Outlook are the primary technologies we use. We still have a fax machine, a facsimile machine as it's called, which in 1975 was great technology, and I think it's something we kind of hold on to just out of the tradition, although it's used less and less. But our primary, we have a server, which we have an outside and IT company maintains the server, and we have a network that we try to keep secure. And I work on one of the PC towers that's connected into the network to do my job.
Oh, what do you like about your position?
I like the ability to not have somebody micromanage me. It gives me the ability if one of my children has a doctor's appointment, or if I want to, on occasion, take a day to do something with the family within reasonable limits. I don't want to give the idea that that you're allowed to just go and miss work a lot. But if there's a medical appointment, you can take care of it. If my daughter, who's not able to drive, if she needs a ride to some sort of soccer practice or some sort of function, I'm able to take her, and then I go back to work. What it allows me to do, it doesn't matter if my work is done between 9 to 5, or if I work at 7 p.m. at night till 10 p.m. to make up for some of the time missed during the day. As long as the work gets done, that is all that really matters. There are progress meetings on jobs. Sometimes there are meetings with clients and customers and vendors, and I have to take that seriously to be at those meetings. So it's not like I just come and go as I please. I don't want to give that impression. However, there is some flexibility to not have to be at a workstation from X hour to Y hour during the day, and then I have to go home.
Oh, what did you dislike about your position?
Whenever occasionally there are disputes amongst employees within the company or interpersonal disagreements amongst employees, it's never fun trying to get that worked out. Um, Government bureaucracy only gets worse, it doesn't get better. We have a new requirement on a lot of our jobs for American iron and steel products. It's a really good thing in that it gives the American steel mills work, and however, the bureaucratic requirements for even extremely small quantities of the product are quite taxing and stressful. And so some of the bureaucratic requirements are difficult. The biggest fear we have is anytime a person from the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, if they come up on one of our jobs, they could write enough fines to put us out of business if they wanted to, which that has not happened because we try to maintain a safe working environment. However, there's always that unknown, and so and the fact that I'm not able to go do the work itself. I can administer, I can bid, I can oversee, I can file reports, but if a customer's broken down on a weekend and I can't get a hold of any of my employees, I can't go out and try to fix it myself. That can also be stressful.
Unlucky me. Do you mostly work with people, things, or ideas?
I mainly work with ideas and data. We have my operations manager, my office manager, my warehouse manager. They come and see me about various things on occasion. However, primarily during the day, it's me and a computer. And frankly, I really enjoy that. I've said to people before, my ideal job would be one where there's no telephone, where I don't have to speak to anybody. That part of that has to do with being undiagnosed, high-functioning autistic, and part of that's just my personality, but I like the fact that most of what I do is me and a computer. However, you do work with people as well, but it's largely data and ideas.
Hush, hush! What do you look for in someone you were going to hire?
1, fanatical levels of integrity. A study was done about attributes of people who make more than $750,000 a year. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately, but one of the things that all of those people, the number one character trait of anyone who made more than $750,000 a year was fanatical levels of integrity. I want someone who's honest, who doesn't steal, who doesn't hide things. My employees will come to me sometimes and say, well, we had a bad day today, we got there and we didn't bring something we should have, or something we brought didn't work, but they know that it's best just to tell the truth what happens and let's learn from it. If one of my employees works on something and doesn't do it quite right, or they're maybe new and inexperienced, the worst thing they could do is to lie about it or try and cover it up. The best thing is just to say, here's what happened, and then we try to learn from those things. I've learned from mistakes I've made bidding jobs before. We recently did a job where our company, we spent more than $100,000 what we earned, and yet what you do is you learn from it and make sure you don't make that mistake again. And we've also had some bids where we've done well. It's both ways, but I want somebody who is honest. I want integrity, and then also in addition to that is the ability to do the job. We do have our employment applications show education. However, and education is important, and I will explain that I think later in this interview, but the education is very important. However, if somebody who maybe doesn't have formal education has learned through on-the-job experience and can do the job, that is, second to integrity, is also the second most important item on the what I'm looking for. We do pre-employment drug screenings. I want people who will pass a pre-employment drug screen. I want people who come to work not under the influence of drugs and alcohol. If we ever have that suspicion, we have to address it. Thankfully, that's never happened in 23 years. I've never had an employee come to work under the influence of any substances. So that is also, we want people who come to work with their heads or their bodies in a position where they're not under the influence of something that might affect their ability to safely do their jobs.
Okay, one more big question. How is what I learn in school used in your job?
Okay, it's very important. How do you learn? People say, how am I going to ever use this stuff? I use algebra a lot to figure out different things. I use multiplication to work on, and spreadsheet ability and multiplication, addition, subtraction, division on a daily basis. I use the writing skills I've learned, because one of the things I have to do, sometimes I have to write letters and emails to engineers. Well, in order to be an engineer, you have to have a college education. And some of these folks that I work with have master's or even doctorate degrees. And I believe that my ability to write using appropriate grammar, spelling, punctuation, it does make a difference, because a lot of people in the business, in this business where we also work, some of them do not know how to communicate. They don't know how to how to express what they want to do, and I think it puts them at a hindrance. Another thing is where we use the spreadsheets and we use our business ability with mathematics is to figure out profit, loss, overhead. Overhead is the expense a business incurs whether or not you work or don't work. If you have a business, you're going to have a power bill, you're going to have the water bill, you're going to have insurance, you're going to have vehicles that you have to maintain. And you have to figure all that in when you come up with your service rates and when you come up with your quotes to do work. And so mathematics is absolutely essential, and then the ability to write is also very important.
Oh, thank you.